Number 13 is 22 Memory Lane. This is a song really about collected memories of childhood and how we carry them with us for our whole life, and they really do seem to inform how we act in the present. Life is crazy. Everyone has ups and downs. There's the good things that happen and the bad, and so in a way you have to be able to, you know, wrestle those bad memories down and make sure that they don't affect how you feel presently and how you view the possibility of the future. Maybe 10 years ago I started writing that chord progression, maybe a little bit more, and I was intrigued at how it starts out heroic and major and celebratory, and then immediately goes minor, and there's obviously some deep brooding that has to get worked out. I mean, it's that sort of duality that we talked about earlier for some of the other tracks. There's the light and there's the dark, and the song is probably the best example of light and dark going back and forth. And then the song ends right in the middle. And there's a spot for the audience to join in. So we hope they do once we hit the stage.
The melody is so catchy. This was the first song I recorded. And I just love this. As a matter of fact, that big Tom intro, I thought of this crazy idea of overdubbing timbales with it. Gang, gang, gong, gong. You know, and it's got a cool, jagged beat. Boo, ba, boo, ga, boo, ga, boo, da, doo, doo. And the hook line is following that jagged line, which is incredible.
22 Memory Lane was, for me, as well as Faceless, was the most difficult to achieve. Again, I was looking for something that was wrong, basically. That's one of the cases where it would have behooved us to be in a studio for both Faceless and Memory Lane and play the song. If we'd done that, in 5 minutes I would have known what the song was supposed to be. And I guess I just went, you know, I was trying a little too hard to think what the song should be when it was right in front of me.
There's a lot of space for Joe to really just kind of, you know, be expansive with his melodic solo ideas and the melody of the song in general, and build an orchestration. I sent in the bass part and he said, yeah, that's it, but you know, I think you need to redo it because it sounds too open. I really wanted the notes to be more like doo, 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 really tight, and it sounds on the recording like it's wah, wah, wah. There's 2 tracks that we recorded. One of them sounds really tight, one of them sounds open. What if we just take down that other track? I think it might deliver what you need, and it might be right there already. And we tried it, and it worked. So if we were together in the same studio environment, that would have been something that wouldn't have even been a thing, because we could have listened to it and said, okay, here's the sound.
Joe, I did some acoustic guitar at the back, some arpeggio stuff, which is really beautiful, and the song just suddenly blossomed. It just happened just by itself, as Joe predicted it would.
And he's so attentive to these things. Joe, you know, saying, when the bass is too open, you can't hear the snare drum right, you can't hear the guitar right, it needs to be tight so these things can breathe. He's constantly thinking of it from a whole song, production, you know, artistry perspective, and he's got a really clear vision for what he wants about that. That's important.
One thing I can tell you about playing the melody on that song is that was a riddle, I gotta tell you. It's so easy sounding. And man, it was like the hardest thing to play, because there were so many possibilities on the guitar for where you play a melody. But to be able to repeat the melody, you need to go and play it somewhere else. And I played that melody in every possible octave you can imagine, and thought that I could double it and I could harmonize it, unisons, you know, 3-part harmony, all kinds of things. But I kept going back to the fact that it needed to be one guitar, and I just had to really figure out, when do you play all the way up the neck and when do you play at the lowest part of the neck. There were technical aspects that you wouldn't imagine existed, because it doesn't sound like a technical song. But in fact, it's difficult. All the ballads that have a singular melody. It's the one where every millisecond of performance on every note is of the utmost importance.
It's also got the credits rolling. You know, we've been through the experience. We're taking you back to Earth. We're going to give you, it's a long way home. you know, it might be like the Aliens movie. It'll take 57 years in hypersleep, but you'll get there. And this is the song that's going to like kind of like start to ease you back into reality, and it's just such a beautifully chosen track to put at the place that it's on the album. I just think, you know, people say that albums are a dead format, but this is one of those moments where you realize that if you have also listened to the previous tracks, it only deepens the experience as to like, you know, how albums are sequenced is really part of the art, and this is just like meticulously, beautifully chosen to be that second last track.